All right.
What's up, my man? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What are you wearing?
Like a fleece.
Oh, right. I thought it was a dressing gown.
No. It's like a brown fleece.
That's quality. I like that. I like what you've done with the place. Talk me through this. Where are you?
Where am I? I'm in my house.
I'm not. No, you son of a bitch. As in, is that your bedroom? Like a study? What you got?
So there are. Hold on. I can count 1, 2, 3. Do you count a hallway as a room?
No.
Okay. 4 rooms.
Nice.
This is the living room.
Cool.
So there's my sofa.
Lovely.
Pictures.
Uh-huh.
My window is, you can't see it, but it's there.
Okay.
So if I lean back, you can see my toilet right there. And then next to it, hold on. Wait, is my finger going the right way? Yeah. So then there's 2 doors next to each other. There's a kitchen closer here, and then my bedroom is the one further back.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Very nice. I've got some chili peanuts as well for a treat myself.
Oh, mate, look at you go. Having a whale.
Not sure what I've done to deserve them, but
well, you've been working very hard. Clearly, I mean, I've got my water, so that's me sorted.
Good. They say I'm working hard. I haven't actually done much work today at all. I've mainly just been going to the shops.
I was going to say,
it takes a long time without a car.
Well, where'd you go to?
So I go to Aldi normally for like most of my stuff, and then I normally just waddle down to Oxford Road Tesco's just to sort of get the bits I can't get at Aldi.
Yeah.
It isn't much really, to be honest. It's just like specific things. Like Pepsi. It sounds pretty picky. I don't like Coke. I like Pepsi. I don't sell Pepsi at Aldi.
I think you're the minority there, mate. I think most sane, rational people don't like Pepsi. They prefer Coke, you know?
Well, I mean, I think most sane people don't care. I think it's what you mean to say.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just fun to poke. It's just fun to poke fun at you and pretend to mock you.
That's all right. I appreciate it. I've got a piping hot coffee as well. Again, don't ask me. My body clock is just ruined, completely ruined.
Mate, don't even get me started. What hours are you working at then?
11 p.m. until 7 a.m.
What hours are you actually working at?
What do you mean? As in, like when I go to work?
No. Okay, no. Start again. You're waking and sleeping. We'll come on to work in a second.
Like I sort of wake up around like 10. Like 9, 10. I try to, but like yesterday, was it yesterday? Or was it the day before? Like literally, I slept through my alarm. I've never done that before, and I was just knackered. But such is the way. But no, I try to sort of wake up about 10, go to bed at about like midnight.
Okay. Yeah.
1-ish. Like not too late, but sort of late enough. I feel. Late enough.
See, I thought you were going to be way worse than that because I'm pretty much the same schedule in the minute. It's really pissing me off because I set an alarm every day to get up like 7. I'm like, get up, actually do something, and then I woke up this morning. It's like 9:41. I was like, oh god.
No, it's same. Like today, because like the thing is, like every now and again, I actually have to get up something. So I've opened my Outlook calendar, exciting stuff. Like I have like a few things a week I actually have to go to, whereas everything else you can just do in your own time.
Yeah.
So every Tuesday at 11:30, I've got to do like a lab meeting, and like today I was lying in bed. It was like 5 to 11. I was thinking, oh god, I can't. This is just too much. It sounds so lazy, but it's true.
It's just habit, mate. Like if you get out of the habit of doing it, then you're just like, oh, how could people get up at this time? But it's just
exactly without being forced to do something as well.
Well,
like the risk of punishment.
Even because it's something that's so like sporadic. Like if you had to get up every single day because you had to attend a lecture that was at schedule at 9:30, you'd be like, fine, I get up at 8. You're like, whatever, or I'm used to it. Or
I'd
9.
Well, realistic. What do you mean? Is in like going into uni? And
no. It's in like a Zoom call.
Oh.
So you're like, I get up at 9:27. It's fine, but you know, what I mean? It's like it would you get to the
turn the camera off,
thing. Yeah, go back to bed.
Nah, I'm not that bad. I do actually, because sort of, I'm one of those people. I have to have like certain areas to do things, like just to motivate myself to do work. Like, so my desk is, as you can imagine, here. I make a point of getting out of bed to actually go to my desk to do work, because if I just lie in bed, I won't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like, if I want to like relax, I'll go to my luxurious sofa, which I'll have you know it came with the flat, but
beautiful.
Because number one, I can't afford to get a new sofa, so I just bought a throw to go over the top of it, so it sort of covers, because it's like cream leather, which is like the worst, the worst kind of just leather.
Yeah.
Even like brown would have been fine. Even black, arguably, would have been. It would match my picture frames at least.
Yep.
Cream. Ugh.
I'm sorry, man.
That's worst problems to have in the world, is what I always say.
That's true. It could be like a bright pink one, or like a lime green. Ooh.
That would be better. At least that would have character.
What are you talking about? It's horrible.
That would have like personality, whereas cream leather is just nothing.
That sounds like someone. That sounds like someone. That sounds like someone from like the 70s had. No, it sounded like the era of the 70s had just turned up and vomited in your flat.
Yeah. And what's personality? Where like a cream leather sofa is like the equivalent of like it's like ice flavored ice cream. You know what I mean? No one wants it. It's just sort of, it doesn't taste of anything. It's just there.
Is that actually a thing? Ice flavored ice cream, or have you just made that up?
Made it up.
Okay.
Trying to think of something shouldn't taste of anything. I was going to say vanilla, but vanilla's actually nice. So
I think there is one that it's not like elderflower, but it would be like a really crappy like watermelon that I think is just crushed ice. It's like actually no, it's like a hush puppy. Hush puppy, if you buy it at the cinema, that is just ice with a bit of colouring.
You mean a slush puppy? Because a hush puppy is a shoe brand which no longer exists.
Does actually not?
And even then, I'm 99% sure they don't exist anymore. I'm actually going to Google it.
Fact check, please, mate.
And I guess they still exist.
Are you hiding your mouth when you're chewing?
Oh no, I'm just resting my hand on my face.
Oh, okay. Oh, under your nose? That's a really specific way to rest it.
I just do. That's how I rest my hand on my face, like that.
See, that makes more sense, like this. But you were like this beforehand, so you were just like.
No. I sort of rest up my nose, like a sort of like.
Hey, I like it, mate. You're adding a bit of flair, a bit of character.
I guess it still exists. The Wikipedia page is far from, far from
trustworthy.
No, Wikipedia's not that untrustworthy. I would say it's far from having content. It's very barren of information. I'll say that much.
When you've got a bit of time on your hands, you should do a bit of research on them. There you go, fill it out, do them a solid.
I barely got time to do research on things I actually need to do, let alone hush puppies.
I think I watched a film the other day, and they had a hush puppy as like a canapé. It's just like this little tidbit you can eat at like a buffet, which I thought was really weird.
Like a shoe.
It was called a hush. It was called a hush puppy, but it was like a little.
Oh, it was like their
delicatessen thing.
Their sort of code word for something.
Well, I don't know. It looked like I don't know. You know what I mean? There's big buffets that got those little crackers with just crap on them. There's this whatever.
I know what a canapé is. You forget I used to live near the golf club now. I'm very familiar with a canapé.
Fine. For the audience who is ignorant of a canapé, it's a little snack.
You could call it a snack, actually.
Call it a little snack, or what's I think the best one I saw was mini burgers.
That's not really a canapé though, is it? That's just a small burger.
It's just a really small snack. I don't care. It's cool. It's a little small sandwich.
Delicious.
I did well. I went to Burger King on Sunday when I took Amy back to Nottingham.
Treat yourself.
Mate. Oh, mate, I went in. I got that. I got a black coffee because I'm crazy. Got the chips.
With a burger.
Got chili cheese bites. Got onion rings and little chicken thing. Their own shitty chicken nuggets thing.
Yeah, like their sort of fake popcorn chicken.
Yeah, it's you gotta wonder why they do it, because you got McDonald's, which is like the 20 piece chicken nuggets, KFC's got popcorn chicken. Burger King just shouldn't touch chicken. You should just stay away from it. As in for the little treats.
I mean, I would agree. I mean, I tend to not go to any of the three anymore, but but why are you shaking your head at me? What am I going to buy? What am I going to have?
All of it, obviously. Oh, shit.
No, don't eat meat, Matt.
So, all the more reason you should do it. You should treat yourself.
What, if I don't eat meat, what am I going to eat? Just chips?
Yeah.
Disappointing chips.
In which case, then you should treat yourself and go to Five Guys. That's the shit.
Their chips are. I don't think their chips are vegetarian. Actually, no. Why aren't they? No, they are. I think they are.
Well, yeah. How would a chip not be vegetarian?
So, like Burger King,
they deep fry it?
Something like that. So, like Burger King's, like what do you call it? Like their vegetarian stuff wasn't actually vegetarian. It was just like a plant-based thing, but they just cooked it on the same like grill, so it doesn't technically, it's still cooked in like animal fats and that.
Yeah, so you're still getting all the saturated with all the other animal stuff. Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard to just sort of clean it, but
or just use an entirely separate one. Like, is this vegetarian? Is it not vegetarian?
But at the same time, it's like I don't understand like the KFC vegetarian burger things like that. Like, if you're a vegetarian, why would you go to somewhere which kills animals anyway? Why wouldn't you just go somewhere else? Like,
yeah,
like, why would you go, even buying something which isn't vegetarian, it is vegetarian, you're still funding like
an organisation
deaths of all these animals.
Yeah, it's a bit counterintuitive. I think some people do it just so they can feel good about themselves. So they'll be like, "Yeah, I did something really good today," and then you
just feel accepted.
Well, probably not even that. They probably just feel like I've done something for. It's a really little thing you can do to make them feel like they're achieving and serving a higher goal than themselves. Like, yeah, I did really well. Was actually thinking, no, even though I might have got the veggie burger, I'm still contributing to a business that thrives off of the profit of slaughtering animals in pens.
Did you say pens? Oh, broad statement. But yeah, no,
sorry,
I agree.
Little mesh boxes. Sorry.
We call them cages.
Animal jail.
I do sort of agree with you in a way, but it's one of the things that's difficult. It's like, who's, if that makes someone, if that makes someone happy, who am I to consult them? But at the same time, like, do something actually meaningful. Don't just.
But no, you're absolutely right, because that's the duality of it. Is you've got, for them, it's made them happy, true, but it's done nothing to further the cause that they are believing in. It depends if they're doing it while they're doing it. If they're doing it to make themselves feel less guilty, but they don't actually want to do anything about it, then cool, keep doing it. But if you're doing it being like, yes, me buying the veggie burger is gonna save these animals, you're like, nah, you've just actually wasted the life of an animal because they still killed it. You just haven't bought it.
Well, that's one way of putting it, but at the same time, it's like, if you had that mindset, then you would just eat animals all the time. Whereas if you stopped eating them, people would stop killing them as much. Is the theory?
Eventually, yes. No, I agree. What was? There was something I heard the other day, and it was like, I think it was like an advert for like a kids show or something. It was saying that if we stop eating animals, the world will. Oh, I can't. What the hell was the bloody phrase? It was either that if we stop eating animals, the world will not die, or if we keep eating animals, the world will die. And I'm like, it's not as simple as that, unfortunately. I wish it was, because then everyone would be like,
surprised.
Stop eating. Well, it's
like, hold on, I'm googling this because there are like actual studies and things like on this where like
yeah. Well, I've got something for you to check afterwards, but crack on, go on.
Actually going to go to like the university research page.
Yeah, do it, man.
Because like,
to be fair, that is a fucking good source to go to. Do it. That's it. That's what it say.
I mean, it's just the same as going to like Google Scholar, which you can go to Google Scholar. It's just you can't access everything.
I trust the university as opposed to just Wikipedia.
I mean, but I think so. So they tell us at university, so they don't say not to use Wikipedia. They just say you cannot directly quote it at all. And if you're going to quote it, just use like, because they reference everything. So go to the reference and read that. Yeah. Like, so there's nothing actually sort of inherently wrong with Wikipedia. it's just sort of garnered a bad reputation, when in reality it's really useful for like basic things, I find.
Well, and also, well, here's the thing. The problem why it's disreputable or has no validity is because anyone could edit it. But most people who input it, who's going to spend the time to fuck around with it and put false information in, when most people who put it in there are like, look, we're trying to collate pretty much as much knowledge as we can, and this is what we've got, because it's a huge amount of effort to go to put false information out on something that probably isn't that relevant.
No, yeah, exactly. And also, like, they have a lot of systems, like a lot of little, I don't know what you call them. I guess programs. I don't know the term, but like, probably. So if you edit something, like if it can tell, like if it's like a joke or something like that, and it'll just edit it back. Yeah. Anyway, how have you been, man? How's the old lockdown been treating you?
It's been okay, mate. I mean, the biggest thing is I can't see your beautiful face in person, so you know it's difficult.
Not many people can. I'll say that much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's the only thing that's bugging me. Like, I'm not going to work, whatever. I'm reading a lot. I'm exercising a lot. But yeah, the only thing that sucks for me is I can't hang out with people.
There's not much else you can do, though. Yeah,
beyond that, I'm having a blast.
That way, even is what I meant to say. Good. I said good.
No, the bit before that, you bitch.
Oh, I don't even remember what I said before, to be honest. My memory is just like my short-term memory just does not exist. What did I?
In your defence, you are multitasking. How are you, mate? How are you treating? How's it treating you?
Same old. Can't complain. Like, there's not much to do, but it's all right. I'm coping. It's fine. Like, I'm quite strangely positive about everything, which is good.
Yeah, good, very good.
Like, there's, only so negative you can be about everything. Because like, I was talking to some people the other day, and they were like, oh, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But what do you mean there's no light at the end of the tunnel? Like, what tunnel are you looking down? Like,
yeah, literally.
Like, don't get me wrong, the UK has been simply awful in every single decision made regarding this.
Yep.
But it hasn't gone well at all. But there is still there's still a future. You just got to be patient.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me.
No problem at all, sir. I think as well is that most people who are like all doom and gloom are usually the ones who've gone looking for things to be sad about.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? It's like you saw everything, but it's difficult to say, because like a lot of like articles, they will like, I hate the term, I don't like terms like clickbait, but they will like clickbait you in by making titles like blah 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 blah. Yeah, you've just got to sort of be honest with yourself about everything and sort of think like, yes, like yes, 100,000 people have died, like a lot of people. Like, percentage wise, I think we're the worst country in the world. Like, everyone's going, oh, America's awful, blah blah blah. Like, for their population, percentage wise, their deaths are less than ours.
Well, actually, keep going. I'm sure I can actually give you a number of what percentage we are right now. Hang on.
I think I can probably work it out. What's the population of the UK?
66.65 million.
Hold on, where's my calculator?
And deaths, we are at 97,939.
Oh, I was going to round up to 100,000. So you.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. No, do it.
No, you be more accurate.
All right, fine. Yeah. Not even 0.2%.
That's still the biggest in the world.
Dude, I will take. Oh, hang on. Sorry, not even 0.15%. Excuse me, I read that wrong. Yeah, so but less than 0.15%.
Still a lot. Like you put it lightly.
Dude, I'm not worrying until we get to 5%. I'm not worried.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, that's still a lot. That's still a lot of people. That's too many. That's more than it should be.
As a number, it's a lot. As a percentage, it's nothing. There was a doctor who put it really well. Hang on. There was a doctor who put it that was really well. He was like, he had what was it? He had prostate cancer. They took it out, so he was like, then the surgeon was like, oh yeah, we've got a 90% chance of it not coming back. So in the doctor's mind, he was like, cool, then it's not coming back.
But you could say that about everything, which is 50-50.
No, I said fucking 90. 90 is, as a fucking doctor, he said 90 is as good as 100. That's what I'm looking. That's how he put it. I was like, okay, cool. So we're not even at we're not even at 1 fucking percent, mate. I'm like, I'm not.
But the thing is,
I'm not caring about this.
I mean, I'm not okay. So when we're not arguing about who's being worried or whatever, because I'm not worried either.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, my argument is that for this mysterious argument is that most of this has been entirely preventable. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Look at countries like Korea, which sort of locked down like immediately. Now they're almost back to normal. Whereas here we are.
Japan, Australia, same things.
Well, Japan's a bit. I was talking to Jake about Japan actually, but we'll go to Japan in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's because one of the things that we've had sort of 3 half-hearted lockdowns, and the British population started to go into sort of meltdown. I think the world's going to end.
Yeah.
In reality, what we should have done is have like 1 sort of month and a half incredibly harsh lockdown.
Yep.
And even then, the economy will probably be better, because if you think about it, all these sort of like eat out to help out things, they ended up just driving the numbers up even more. So we've had to lock down again.
The cognitive dissonance on that was fucking fantastic. It's fantastic, isn't it?
I mean, I hate Boris Johnson at the best of times, let alone now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all those people who are like, oh, if we had a Labour government, this wouldn't happen. How do you know that? How do you know that?
No.
You might have, but you don't know.
Most officials in most countries have demonstrated that none of them have made it positions of power through aptitude or, through their own merit. They've done it because they knew the right people, they greased the right palms, and they were good at talking shit. When shit actually hits the fan, like now, they don't know what the hell to do, because we could take the nice, sympathetic, maybe even apathetic approach, and be like, look, whoever was in charge, this would have been an absolute shit show, but it obviously could have been prevented and lessened.
But here we are, but like, I don't know, it's difficult. I don't know.
Go on.
I've forgotten what I was going to say pretty much.
We were talking about where the worst percentages, stupid things, lessened, bad lockdown crap.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it should be, there's only as long as you sort of follow the rules in that. But like, just use. It sounds weird saying use common sense, because people don't have common sense, as we clearly found out.
But it's tough when quite a lot of the rules we've been given don't make sense, and you're like, what? So
yeah, like the government is like, oh yeah, to help out. It's like, young people are going out to get food. It's their fault.
You're like, no, that's not how this works.
No, just throw away the precious economy and think of, like, you can't. In my mind, you can't put a price on a human life, and yet we've thrown away like nearly 100,000 of them.
Well, here's the weird thing about it, is that this is. Most governments have never cared particularly about human lives, because if they did, then smoking would have been illegal from the get-go. Same with alcohol, that would have been illegal from the get-go. But it's interesting now that they can pretend to care about human lives.
It's because it's directly affecting them in a way now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they don't know if they're going to be. They don't know what level of risk they're going to be at to get it themselves.
Yeah, and the thing which I found most frustrating was, you see all these things in America with like all the weird politicians who sort of denied it even existed. They were like front of the queue to get the vaccine, whereas people who are like working on the front line weren't even close. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Just sort of makes you lose faith in. I mean, I don't trust any politician at all. So
by their nature, you can't trust them.
No, I wouldn't. But
you can't. You just can't. It's just a natural thing. It's like you should never. It's the same thing as like a wolf. You can't trust it not to eat you.
Yeah, fair point.
That's just what it does.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the vegetarianism. I couldn't find anything.
Go on, mate.
There was nothing on the there was no like studies on the university thing, which is fine. Well, not any like quick ones. Well, I've gone to the Guardian, good old Guardian. I trust the Guardian. So I'll put it in terms that you can understand. Okay. So, well, I mean, terms which are relatable to you. Okay. So producing beef results in over 100 kilograms of greenhouse gases per 100 grams of protein made.
Okay. Yeah. Got you.
Whereas for tofu, you're producing 3 kilograms of greenhouse gases for 100 grams of protein.
Okay. So I'm trying to think which one I want to attack first. Tofu.
You're gonna say that tofu's not a good source of protein?
It's a very good source of protein. It's also a very, very bad source of estrogen. Very, very high in estrogen because it's got a huge soy content. So if you eat a lot of soy, it's very high in estrogen. If anyone eats a lot of soy, it fucks up your system.
I've heard this, but I never necessarily believe it.
See, I knew about this because Mum told me, and she's a nutritionist. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to a nutritionist when it comes to food.
I'm going to listen to a
vegetarian activist.
Well, I'd rather have a higher estrogen content than have the conscience of.
Hey, that's fine. I would just recommend olives and lentils as opposed to tofu. Is all I would say. There's better things to eat.
I eat lots of lentils. I eat lots of lentils anyway. But it's about eating. In my mind, food is not just about. It's just health is one aspect of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, number one is survival.
I say number one is taste, but
oh yeah, no,
well,
fair point.
Argue survival. Yeah, survival is just like hold on.
Survival is a byproduct.
Survival is just you sort of just do it on your own.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is interesting actually, because our food is marketed by flavor.
Not always. A lot of the time, I would say more is marketed by health benefits than it is flavor. Like if you walk into a shop, you don't see advertisements saying tasty compared to like you would look at anything and like the words good source of protein just appear to be splashed on everything these days. When it's not necessarily.
I see that when usually it's a lie. And it's zero sugar and low fat. I'm like, you are all assholes. Because fat, for the most part, is not bad for you. And low, if it means low or zero sugar, that means they've taken out a natural product and put in a synthetic one, which is worse for you.
I mean, that's arguable. That's arguable whether it's worse for you or not. Because sugar is not necessarily good for you. In an ideal world, you should just have less of the product on its own rather than going.
We're agreeing. Neither of them are good, but aspartame is worse for you than sugar. Now, if you had stevia, I'm on board.
But now we're getting to the weird zone where I prefer the taste of like a Diet Coke or a Pepsi Max to a normal one.
Okay. Yeah, true. Which is backing up my point.
But I don't care about the ingredients. I care about the ingredients on most other things, but like.
But you're just proving my point in the fact that we care more about a flavour than anything else. Why do you think people snack? It's because it tastes good. It's not because they're like, oh, this is a good source of protein. It's like, no, I just like this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like eating.
Dude, we all do it.
Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. But I think eating is one of the things which is like, it's just like
because the ability to get essential food is so easy, we've changed its meaning. So it's become something to do if you're bored, or it's a social thing to do, hence restaurants. Because
eating.
Yeah, because if food was difficult to come by, you wouldn't have a fucking restaurant. Because if it was difficult to come by, no one would sit quietly and politely and take their time eating a meal. It would just be fast food shit where no one would sit down, they just run in and out. But because it's easy, you're like, oh, we're going to make this an experience, a social thing. It's something to do. It's a reason to dress up. You go, it feeds all these other industries. So you get wine, you get catering, you get cleaners, all that sort of stuff. Because it becomes part of it.
All right,
it's interesting. So
it is.
What you got?
I've got my article here.
Yeah,
it's on ProQuest. So if anyone's listening and they know, ProQuest is like where you just look at research stuff.
Okay, cool.
So this is from 1992, so not very modern.
30 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it is. Doesn't matter though. Doesn't matter if it's
on.
relevant.
Yeah, go on.
So essentially, the amount of estrogen which is in soy and tofu is negligible and is fine. Like it says here, you can have the equivalent of about 2 cups a day, which is like American unit. I don't like
it's about that big. It's about that
Hold
big.
on, American cup. I'm going to do it to grams. I like grams.
Yeah. You're an imperial kind of
guy. Yeah. We'll get onto that later on, I'm sure.
Yeah. There
are units of measurement I despise.
Oh, so mate, I've got a list that I hate.
You can effectively have 300 grams of soy per day, and it won't alter any of your levels of estrogen.
Okay. Can I just say to anyone listening that neither of us are registered nutritionists, so we have zero authority to speak on anything we speak about. So do not listen to what either of us say, okay? Cool. I'm going to say how... I'm going to say that was... Who did that study? I'm going to say it was 30 years ago. What was the sample size? What are they measuring? Is what I'm going to argue that. I'm very suspect of that because that's so long ago.
That doesn't mean anything though. 30 years
ago. Yes, it does. Yes, it dude. Okay, yes, it does. If you looked at studies from 50 years ago talking about what fat and sugar does, they would say something completely to what they're saying differently saying now because they fucking paid off the scientists to say that sugar isn't bad for you.
They paid off the scientists.
The sugar companies paid off the scientists to say that sugar's not bad for you.
I'm looking at a university webpage which has respected articles, man.
That was in 1992, Richard. I want a more recent study.
Okay, I'll find you one.
Go on. By the way, I'm leaving all the research up to you, so I'm not doing anything.
That's fine.
I'm just saying stuff. And again, I'm happy to be proved wrong, mate. Because I like tofu, it's very tasty.
Yeah, I do as well. I don't tend to have it that often, and I don't really like soy milk either, so I don't have soy milk, but I have almond milk. I like almond. That's my favourite one.
Nah, soy's milk's weird. It's got like a weird aftertaste. I like oat milk's oat milk is always my choice if I can.
I have soy yogurt. And because you can make things out of that. Like you can if you buy like plain soy yogurt.
Still, again, I know there's a flavour about it. But
yeah, but
why do I like tofu? Because that is just soy. I don't know.
Tofu's more of like a blank canvas for like for like just other things.
Yeah.
No, I found you a modern one, man.
Right,
have a little read.
Give me a year. Give me a source.
2018. Is that modern enough for you?
That is. I'm more than happy with that. I'm more likely to listen to what that says.
Right. I'm just going to read the abstract because it's quick.
This is making really riveting entertainment for people.
It is. So we're all learning here.
No, I meant the fact that it's quiet for a bit, so you're taking the time to read it. That's the fun part.
We're all learning here.
Oh man.
Is there a conclusion? I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom. This is a long. How many pages is this? I'll tell you how many pages this is.
Don't hurt yourself, mate. If it's particularly arduous, we'll.
No, I've got a point to prove it.
Oh man.
But whatever argument you come at me
Yes.
with, I will still say that at least nothing's dying.
Hey, and look, this is not the hill I'm gonna die on, mate. I just like to repeat stuff that I hear, and then if I'm proved wrong, and I'll become better. So it's fine.
No, that's fair enough. There we go.
Oh shit. Which arguably is actually a very bad philosophy to have if everyone adopted it.
What do you mean?
Shit you hear.
If it comes from a trusted source, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean some of the things I say just because it's amusing. But when it comes to food, for the most part, I don't really fuck around. So
because that's because me and you are different in that way. Because you're more of a practical eater. You eat to be. You eat to fuel your body, and which is fine, well within your right to do so. Whereas I eat food which is tasty and makes me feel good. But when I say makes me feel good, I mean I'm not saying like I have like a blooming, what's an unhealthy like chips every day. That doesn't make me feel good. Having chips like once a week will make me feel good. But like other things, like I can make some good food, man. I can make some good food.
I know, I've seen. I enjoyed the soup you sent me a while back. That looked good.
Yeah, thank you. I've learned how to make. I say learned. It's not difficult. You can make like 2-ingredient flatbread, and that's really nice. Like with loads of things.
I do like a homemade flatbread and like sourdough. You're like, oh yeah.
So that thing is sourdough is so much effort to make at home because you've got to make like the actual.
It is, but it's good.
I want to, but I can't be bothered. Like I don't know if I can be bothered to make bread that often.
It takes a lot out of you. You still reading it?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm curious. So what? So you just mainly mentioned the estrogen, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, right. So I'll go to the paragraph which relies on that. So sex hormone network, estrogen, and thyroid gland perturbation seems to be unlikely, especially with low isoflavone, don't know what that means, intakes reported in vegetarian. Overall, low content of blah, blah. Okay, so the low content of bioactive compounds in second-generation soy foods. I'm assuming that just means stuff turned from soy into something.
Into whatever, yeah.
And moderate amount of traditionally prepared soy offer modest health benefits with very limited risk for potential adverse health effects.
Okay.
And that is from a study, because this is a what's the term? I should know this. I do it all the time.
Unbiased.
No. So this is from a. Oh, don't forget the term.
What are you trying to say?
Lots of studies in one.
Oh.
Not a.
Epidemiological.
Nah, not that kind of word. It's something really simple. I just can't remember it. I'll remember it in a minute.
Holistic.
Nah, hold on.
I know what you're trying to say because I remember doing this in fucking A level.
I would go get my book, but it's in the corner.
Comprehensive.
That's a good adjective, but it's
yeah. It's confluent. Confluent's a good word. Do you like that?
I think it's I'll find it. Don't worry, I'll find it. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the page to load.
Okay, while we're doing that, we'll circle back around. What's happening with Jake in Japan?
Oh, he's all right. Not much. Like it's one of those things where they sort of tend to, because Japan has sort of, I don't know what he called them. I've forgotten the word, but essentially like regions. They're like our counties.
Oh, they got provinces.
Province. Province is the word. Yeah.
So
they're provinces, and they have their own sort of rules in each one. So some of them, like the ones in like Tokyo, all places, all the big cities, they tend to be sort of quite on it with everything. Whereas the one Jake's in is a bit more sort of. He's a bit more kind of. A bit wet,
okay.
I'll say.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So he's sort of thinking like he'll probably get like locked down again because I just spat on my keyboard. He'll probably get locked down again because it's not going particularly sort of. I'm not going to say it's not going badly, but it's not not going the direction they want it to. I'll say that much. But
okay, that blows my mind because because we are like here, and I live here in the UK, and people are like, oh, it's a global pandemic. You're like, fine, okay, those two words, global pandemic. But you actually speak to someone on the other side of the planet, and they describe a situation similar to you. You're like, that is nuts. Like to actually interact with someone on the other side who's relating to the whole shit that's happening with you as well. You're like, fucking hell, this thing really is everywhere, isn't it?
Trust me, like Jake always messaged me and he's like, oh, you guys doing all right? I'm like, yeah, fine. Because apparently all like the articles that they get in like other countries are saying how like the UK is like, look at all these deaths, it's doing awful. And I'm like, oh,
right.
We're not doing that bad. Because like, for example, so my brother lives in Shanghai. He's got his vaccine already.
Yeah.
Everywhere's pretty much open. You just can't leave the country and they don't let people into the country.
Fair enough. Fine.
Which other than Chinese people, because if they're going home and things like that, you're not allowed to like. So like my brother, for example, he wouldn't be allowed to go back because he's only on like temporary contract and things like that. So they'd sort of be like.
So is he there now or is he here?
Yeah. No, he's there now. He never came back.
Oh, okay.
He just stayed in China.
Yeah.
So he's got his vaccine and everything, like, and it's one of those things where like they had like one death somewhere, like one, and they locked down the entire province or area that that death was in. And no one's allowed to go in or out of it. And the thing as well, like, you look at UK and it's like, we have to go see our families at Christmas. This was in Chinese New Year, which is like their biggest thing. And it's like so for example, my brother had no time off for Christmas because it's not a Christian country, but he gets like over a month off for Chinese New Year. It is something huge over there.
Yeah.
And like, you know, they weren't afraid to like cancel things. Sorry if I'm being overly critical of the UK government. Not much else you can do in lockdown.
Why the fuck are you apologising to me?
I'm just apologising to whoever's listening.
Oh yeah, true. I think whoever's listening, we can all safely say that they've done a shit show here. I can't imagine there's anyone listening who's going to disagree with that statement. No.
And the only argument I've ever heard is when people go, oh, but I went down the wrong one. Oh, Boris Johnson had no other choice. He had no other choice because if you look at what he does, he always says the same thing. He's always done this. Because he doesn't make decisions. And he waits until the last minute, until there's only one decision which can be made. And then he goes, oh, we had no other choice. We had to do it. You know what I mean?
Very good point.
And then people are like, oh, you know, he had to do it. He had no other options. He had no other options because he left it like 5 months.
It's a very good point.
I've got the word now. It took me ages. It's embarrassing that I didn't know it. Meta-analysis. Can't believe I just didn't know that.
How do we not? Oh, hold that.
I do them all the time. So...
Hey, Richard, it was... Oh, it's backwards. Is it backwards? Can you read it?
No, I can read it. It's only backwards on your screen, I think.
Yeah. There you go.
No, I can read that. Very good. What are you doing? Are you in the skip?
Yeah, so it was when we moved house about 18 months ago. We're sat on a sofa in a skip. And that's how you do it.
I don't know. I never knew how to pronounce your road. I probably shouldn't advertise it on wherever you're going to upload
don't say
this.
Don't say it on here. Don't say it on here. But yes, it was.
I can't say it not on here. So.
Well, it's a weird Welsh thing. To be fair, all those bloody roads are Welsh.
Yeah, they were, weren't they?
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, there was one down the bottom. I think it was just all consonants. And it was like seven letters long, and you're like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
I'm really saying as now that I don't have a car or anything, I'm really rubbish at road names. I just sort of walk down the roads I need to go down.
Dude, I used to be awesome at Reading. Like, if you said, "Oh, that's on this road," I'm like, "Cool, yeah." I can tell you exactly road by road how to get there. Whereas like now, I'm like, that's why I have to ask you so many times where you live now, because I'm like, I should know where this is.
That's things like if someone gives like a general idea of like where something is, I can be like, oh, I know where you just walk down this road and that road, but I'm like, I don't know what those roads are called. Yeah. I can just vision it in my mind and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's is what it is.
Some of them are immortalized though. I mean, like probably for the things I put Reading on the map would be like Zinzan and Gun Street. Those would be the best ones, purely because Zinzan was that guy on a bike who that dude tried to kick him and tripped over his own feet. And then Gun Street is obviously because of the purple turtle dude who survived getting hit by a bus.
Oh yeah. Oh, good old Zinzan.
That's still an amazing video. See, I was like, oh, that's my hometown, and this dude gets clocked by a bus and he's fine.
Oh wait, no, I'm talking about the Zinzan Street video.
Oh yeah, mate, both of them are fucking quality.
Yeah. Good old. Reading's not that bad. It's all right. it's all right. Could be a lot worse.
You're not going to get any arguments for that. It's all right.
Yeah. Do you want this article?
Go on, hit me up. Well, I do. I just don't know.
Oh, hold on.
I do. The audience is not getting a choice.
I'll send it to you later.
Right. Yeah, cool.
Well, that's fine. No, that's all right. It's all good.
What I was trying to talk about. See, going back right to the beginning of our conversation. What I was trying to say is that I absolutely agree that the way we cultivate and farm meat now is bad.
Yeah, it's awful.
So it's terrible. But the thing that I don't want to gloss over is that people think that this meat is portrayed that meat production is bad, therefore all vegetarian is good. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not all of it is good.
But what do you mean? What do you mean by it's good? I mean, what do you mean by it's not good? What's not good?
So sustainable farming is something that's been hugely overlooked. So because of this whole shift, this whole growth in vegetarianism and veganism, by moving away from animals, animals being grown and matured and used for meat, by them changing it all to plants, it's increasing the amount of fertilizer that goes in the ground, the amount of pesticide that's put in there, the amount of ground that's churned up and dug up and all that sort of stuff. And most of it, unfortunately, is not being done sustainably, so that it ruins the soil. So it means it's unfertile ground, and it takes X amount of time to then make the ground fertile again. And at the rate we're going at, from what I heard from this sustainable farmer, he was saying that we have 60 harvests left unless they do sustainable farming. So it basically means if you harvest, it's what is it, once a year, twice a year, something like that? So you got like 60 years.
That's what it is.
Like yeah, but let's say it's once a year. So there's 60 years left. That's what they say. So I imagine it's a similar time frame. Like there's that 2050 bandied around for loads of shit like greenhouse gases, carbon emissions, all that sort of shit. So I think that people should learn from the bullshit mistakes we've done with cattle and cow grazing, because I mean you get all the horrific shit where they literally where they divert the sewage from it into like local rivers and lakes, and that kills ecosystems and shit, and it's horrible, it's disgusting. But they should learn from that mistake and make sure, okay, if we're going to do this plant stuff, if so much of this is going to be done, because let's say we can now make synthetic meat in labs, great, things are not going to die, therefore we're not going to grow as many of them, so we're going to go to more towards plant-based stuff. We need to be able to do it sustainably, because so much of it is going to be there. Is the only thing I want to say.
I've already got an argument to respond to that. Two arguments, in fact.
Yeah, go on.
So number one is that I've been like vegetarian for like a year and a half now, I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much like a vegan at this point. Like, I don't drink milk anymore. Don't eat cheese. Don't really like cheese really anyway.
Yep.
Don't eat, essentially, I am a vegan at this point.
Yeah.
Don't like that. I don't like labels. That's a different conversation.
I respect that.
But like most vegetarian products are sustainable because they're two very interlinked things. Like a lot of most people who go vegetarian, I'm saying it's just out of plucking it out of my mind.
Yeah, go on.
I bet you, if you ask like 100 people who are vegetarian whether they care about sustainability, 90% of them will say yes.
Yep.
Like it's rare that you'll find someone who's vegetarian but doesn't care about sustainability. So because of that, most of the products are also sustainable. A lot of the time, so all the things I remember you're talking about, a lot of the times I remember. My other argument is, so when it comes to like all the ground being ruined and things like that, that's not a problem just limited to vegetarianism. That is a problem. That's a problem limited to just food consumption in general.
Yeah.
So necessarily, you can use it as an argument against vegetarianism, or whatever. But at the same time, you could use it as an argument against just eating food in general.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But this is my point: is that it's not to. My point is, let's learn from the bullshit we've done.
No, they won't learn though. I don't have any trust in human beings.
I trust the human beings I'm close to. That's about it.
I wouldn't even trust much human beings I'm close to. I trust myself, and that's about it. Do I even trust myself? No. Do you mind if I go grab another drink?
You go ahead, mate. It's fine.
Oh, I'm back.
Welcome back, sir.
That's good. But I'll say the other argument I always hear all the time is people are like, oh, air miles, the air miles on your avocados and things like that. And my argument always is, because, you know, you can't grow avocados in this country. But my argument is...
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Actually, I'm going to Google that because now that I've said that, I don't know.
You're probably right. It's probably like bananas. It's probably like bananas. You probably can't. Yeah.
But then, like, from working in a supermarket and looking at the labels from where everything comes from, nothing comes from the UK pretty much. Like, really minimal things.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like, so this is, again, it's the same argument before. It's not just a problem. It's just a problem with food culture in general. It's not necessarily just, you know, vegetarianism.
I agree. Well, I think the phrase that you've said, which hit the nail on the head, is that I hate labels, which is where this, how it's the bullshit about this thing's better than this thing. It's like, no, it's not necessarily. And you don't, it's like the whole bullshit about like political parties is you're creating divides because then it forces people to choose and it forces people against each other. It's like, just let people do what they fucking want. Like, in an ideal world, we'd all consume a little bit of everything because the human body is designed to thrive off a little bit of everything. It's the change, it's the adaptability, it's the variability. Like, some days I'll eat nothing, some days I'll eat just meat, some days I'll eat a mixture, some days I'll eat just vegetables. And my body responds really well to that because it's different and it creates and most people probably are like that, is it will, bar like a, I don't know, motor neuron disease or whatever, is that, whereas weirdly enough, they actually survive really well on a carnivore diet. But I mean, for most people, they survive and thrive the best on variance, which is what you need. And then if you want to do it like yourself, if you're like, look, I don't like this food, and equally, I don't want to contribute to hurting animals, therefore I'm not going to eat it. And you're like, fine, do what you want.
Yeah. But that's the thing. People, everyone's allowed to do certain things. But at the same time, like, my counterpoint, if you will, would be to just...
Oh, come on.
What?
You can't give me a counterpoint to me. You can't give me...
Human beings are inherently greedy. So your sort of ideal world will just never exist. That's my counterpoint. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, you get all these people like, oh, the cream rises to the top. It's like, but should the cream rise to the top? Or can't the cream just settle in with the other curds? I don't know.
We must strive without hope or expectation or cessation of effort.
I already have no hope, Matt, so that's good.
No, I'm going to say this again. We must strive without hope or expectation of cessation of effort. So it's the fact of trying to make it better is the important thing, not about whether you actually make it better.
Well, you're saying that's what we currently do?
Well, I don't give a shit what other people do. I care what I do.
Oh yeah, because that's all you can control. So
exactly, and so I don't worry about myself about other bullshit. Like, I care about my family. I care about you. I care about this conversation. I care about your opinion. Yeah, you're welcome. And I care about your opinion because it's you're. That's all I can do. I don't care about random people on the fucking street or when they're like, "Oh, veganism's going to take over the world." It's like, I don't care.
I mean, it's something I sort of care about people's opinions on the street because at the same time, we're all human, aren't we? Like, why should my opinion be any different to someone else's opinion? But then that's to each their own. That's to each their own.
No. Like, the point being is that I respect everyone's opinion, but I'm not going to waste time thinking about it unless it's in my face.
But then, if people are talking to you on the street, aren't they in your face?
For the most part, dude. At this day and age, who the fuck is going to talk to you on the street that you don't know?
Yeah, human interaction is so minimal these days, but I've grown to quite like it now.
I can't remember who I was speaking to about it, but I think they were asking about you, and I was like, look, this dude doesn't like people at the best of times. He's having a great time.
No, you're right. Like, prime of my life. This is like, I talk to people once a week when I go into work, and like whenever I do like my lab meetings and that, and obviously I have phone calls with people, but I'm quite content with that. There's no social pressure, which I like.
Of course,
I mean? There's no pressure to like go out, go to the pub. Like, oh, you have to see your mates. I'm like, oh, do I have to? Like, well, please don't take offense to that because there's no offense meant. It's just I quite like just sort of I quite like going at my own pace with no sort of pressure from other people. Call me a simple person if you want. I'll take it. And it's one of those things. If I want to go out and see my friends, I will go. Well, not now, obviously, but in the past, if I want to go out and see my friends, I will go out and see my friends.
Well, multiple things. Number one is I don't take offense to anything you say because I know.
I hate you.
Well, also, I'm not that fucking narcissistic.
I know.
No, to think that you're acting this way just towards me. I'm not. That's so fucking narcissistic. It's like, nah, this dude just does what he wants. And also, I know that's how you are. It's like a mutual friend of ours who I'm not going to throw under the bus here because, you know, I'll do afterwards. But he
message me the name.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it now.
Yeah. I was sure because I can imagine who it is. I just want to guess.
Yeah. No. Okay, it's one of two. Okay,
just two initials.
But he's a twat. He knows he's a twat. He's very proud of the fact that he's a dickhead, and he's just like, I'm not. You know, that's just who I am. And you're like, yeah, I know you're a dickhead, and I know that also means you're like really unreliable. You're very hard to speak. You're very hard to get hold of. But you know, when I do see you, it's great, and I still love you for it. But that's just, I understand you're a dickhead. And he's like, yeah, that's it. that's the relationship.
It's like another one of our mutual friends.
I can know which we're talking about already.
This is one of my pet hates. People think it's okay to be late. It's not okay. Never okay. You know,
how delayed were we on this today?
But I gave you warning. I gave you plenty of warning.
Yeah. All right. You can have that.
I had to walk to the shops to get my. I can show you on my weird steps app I got for free. How many steps I've done today?
What app is that?
It's just called Steps app. I don't know why I got it. It just tells you how many. So I've done nearly 11,000 steps, which is
good.
Fairly normal. Like you probably should do like 10,000 a day. It's hard though. 10,000 is a lot. Like people 10,000 is much. That's like an hour and a half of solid walking. That's a lot of time.
It's about an hour and 15, hour and 20, something like that.
It depends. You've got longer legs than me, so bigger stride, I'd say.
I'm a bigger stride with the same bloody height. Don't try that shit.
Yeah, but the same height doesn't mean we have the same leg limbs.
Okay, do we both buy a 34, maybe 36 short? Right? Don't try that shit with me.
I think at this point of lockdown, probably a 38 short for me. No,
I highly doubt that.
Mate, I'm definitely more on the 36 side than the 34 side now. I'll say that much.
Oh, I'm the same. I just can't get past my thighs. I'm just like,
I just can't. You know, there's no like. I used to burn all my calories just walking everywhere, but now you know, I only walk them like once or twice a week. But I try to go on other walks now. But it's just like without having like a set destination, because I used to use walking as just like the way to get around.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle to just go for a walk. Like it's just like, where's the goal? Like, what am I walking towards? I'm just walking.
I'm trying to think. I think it must have been in the. I'm trying to think when it was. It must have been like beginning of this year. I remember I walked. No, sorry, beginning of 2020. I walked to work in the morning, walked all day at work. I then walked to near my old house, then walked back into town and got the train and then walked home. So I think that was about 37,000 steps or something ridiculous like that.
Wait, so
but if you just
you walked all the way from your house into town, or did you walk to the station initially?
No. So from Twyford. My house to Twyford Station to Reading.
Oh, okay. Because I was imagining you walking from from Twyford to Reading Centre. And I'm like, oh.
I did that the other week. I did that at Christmas. I met a dear old friend of ours, emphasis on old, for a coffee, and then afterwards I just thought I'd just walk home. So it took me an hour and a half.
Wonder who it could be.
Yeah, old.
Oh, we're all old now, so other than you spring chicken.
Fuck. I would say fuck you, but it means I'm hopefully going to live old longer. But you know.
Well, I mean, without sounding morbid, could get hit by a bus. I'm joking.
There was a comedian who said, I think that's called Blaze of Glory.
Wait, old. I know who it was. Old.
And old.
Would you describe them as a work colleague?
I would. I'd also say crotchety.
Oh, I know who you mean. My good friend. I sent him an email the other day.
You emailed him?
He asked for an email.
Oh, got ya. What's he saying about your project?
My bespoke tailoring project.
Yeah, what's he saying?
He just said he'd get back to me in a few days. I sent him I drew some much better sketches.
Okay.
I can't imagine it being that complicated, but at the same time,
probably not.
It's whether he has time or not.
Yeah, I don't. Well, considering the majority of his business and income comes from wedding dresses, Christ knows.
Yeah.
Christ knows.
It's like just Moss Bros in general. Like, because did you hear that Top Man's been sold now?
Oh, interesting.
And so all their stores are closing because it's been sold to ASOS.
No.
Yeah. So this isn't like.
Damn.
So, and also Debenhams is purely online now as well, I've heard.
Wow, they actually shut all their stores.
One in Reading was shut ages ago.
Yeah, I know that, but because when that shut, that was one of 15 of all total stores. So like basically still open when I last heard.
I'm actually going to Google this to make sure.
It wouldn't surprise me, mate. That shit was going down the toilet.
Yeah, because it was. Yeah. Multiple news articles are quoting sold to ASOS. But like, I mean,
damn,
it's weird. Even when I worked there, it was
Arcadia.
fine, actually.
It was Arcadia, mate. Arcadia never were good with their money.
Well, no, that's mainly because of Big Phil.
Yeah. Well, also they took on way too many businesses under their umbrella.
And only a few of them are actually good.
I know. Well, they had Burton, Dorothy Perkins, loads of shit.
Yeah, so it's Burton, Dorothy Perkins, Miss Selfridge, Top Man, Topshop, and I don't really know. As far as I was aware, I didn't really pay attention. They didn't tell me these things when I worked there. Just from what I saw and things like that, I feel that Top Man and Topshop 100% was worth. Like people would throw money at Topshop. Top Man, yeah, to an extent. And even Miss Selfridge, it was Burton and Dorothy Perkins, which were like the two sort of weak links. As far as I was, when did I work there? Like 5 years ago, pretty much.
2017.
Oh, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So like, but it makes sense that it's been sold to ASOS. I think like ASOS is the kind of place where people, like the kind of people who would shop at Topshop or Top Man even, would buy stuff off ASOS.
Absolutely.
ASOS is just like the online Top Man. So I'm trying to move my light so you can actually see my face without it being so shiny. But
dude, I've got my main bedroom light and I've got two lights either side of me because my main bedroom light is just shit.
So I'll show you. So that light you can see there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Awful. Simply awful. And number one, I'm not knowing that it's ugly as well.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna get it changed soon. It shouldn't be that hard.
It's just the bulbs that are shit, or
no. So the bulbs are fine. It's the actual light itself. It's just really odd, and I just don't like it.
Show me again.
It's like some of those old school sort of like early 2000s like spaghetti lights.
Oh yeah, I hate them. And also you've got no light coming straight down, just all over the place.
That's not really a major problem because what am I going to? There's a coffee table. Actually, you can't see, but there's a. There's a coffee table there, so it's not like I'm going to be standing right in the center of the
room. yeah, true.
But I get enough light from my.
Cool.
That one.
Yeah.
And this one here as well. So if I'm doing work, for example, I really struggle with like concentration, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I like to have as minimal things as possible so I can really sort of zone in and not get distracted. I'm like a dog. I actually get distracted by everything. I mean, I get the job done, and I feel I do a good job. Mm-hmm. Like, things have gone all right this year. Weird year, but I think I've gone all right, so that's good.
Good.
I'm going to try to apply for another placement in summer, so that's good.
Good. Yep.
Should be paid one this time. That'll be good. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens from there.
Would you have are you more likely to get that now that you had the experience from the previous one?
Yeah, sort of. It depends. Yeah. It depends. Mostly it's down to just how good your application and things like that are. And without sounding actually is arrogant, like I know what people want to hear in a cover letter.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I can write a good cover letter. And like the experience, it's not gonna, never gonna put me down. but we'll see. Because I'm tempted to apply for something which is a bit more sciencey and a bit less psychology, but mainly because I just want that more experience. Like, it's not necessarily because I want to change what I'm doing. It's just because the more experience, the better. The more broad my experience is, the better. That's my argument. And like, if it's something like slightly biological based, then I can do that, no problem at all. Well, same problem. I'm willing to learn is what I should say, rather than saying I could do it, no problem. I'm enthusiastic enough to learn, not not that I can immediately just do it. I'm not, I don't like to think I'm an arrogant person.
No, but you're confident and you're certainly capable, my friend.
Well, I'm only confident when talking to people I know, like you. I feel like I know what I'm on about at this point.
Yeah, of course you do.
Last year, I kind of just winged it the entire year, and I seemed to do all right. Whereas this year, like, I tried to wing it in the first term, it did not go well. But then it picked up, and like I've gotten into I know what I'm doing now, and my results have changed, and they are now accurately portraying my ability without sounding fancy. You know what I mean?
Good. That's what you need.
Yeah, exactly. I feel it's going all right. Can't complain at all.
Excellent. That's what you need to hear.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, godsend is so you might see me looking over here all the time. Like, in this lockdown, having 2 monitors, it sounds weird saying it, it's the best thing ever for doing work. Like, that's what you need. So, like, even when I'm writing essays and things like that, like, having just like the articles on this screen and like my Word document or whatever on this screen, really good. And the same for having like, say if I'm on like a Zoom call or something like that. So having the Zoom call, obviously where you are now, here, and then having like the articles and stuff here, it really, or even having like my notes and stuff like that here, is really useful. And it's really, I would say it's like the most useful purchase, even though I had it from before lockdown. It's the best thing. I couldn't imagine trying to do work without it at this point.
Makes sense, because you need to have like the main body of work there. I mean, especially if you're writing something there, and then to be like, I can't be asked to change screen, just like, keep out there, and then like checking it. Yeah, it just makes so much more sense to have that like, readily available.
100%. And the one thing is, the best thing it's ever is for is referencing. Like, referencing isn't that, like, people go, referencing is horrible. Once you know how things are meant to look, it's not that bad. Like,
it's just the time. That's it.
I don't mind referencing. I quite enjoy it. It's almost like you're tying up the loose ends of an essay and things like that. I quite like that. But referencing is so easy because you have it on here and you're like, right, blah blah blah, name, year, title, article, whatever, page numbers, issue number, and you've got it all there, and you're like, yes. And you can just literally just look, and it is there, and you can just check it easily, so you're not getting it wrong. And it's good. It's good. Trusty thing. It's done me proud.
Good. Well, I'm glad to finally be able to see your place, virtually or otherwise.
I mean, you can pretty much see all of it.
Yeah.
If I scroll back, there it is.
There it is again. No, I like it, man. It's good. I'm glad you made yours.
Yeah, it's not. My good old, my trusty command strips have come in handy, because all this was on my. You wouldn't have. You might have seen it in my room.
I saw the deck. I haven't seen the rest.
It was all sort of. Well, a lot of it wasn't actually on my wall there, but like it was. Did we do any Zoom calls there? I don't really remember.
2 or 3.
The thing is, it's like all of it would have been on this wall here, equivalent.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have seen it anyway. It's just on that wall now.
Okay.
I like it.
That's real good, mate.
There's a few stuff needs to sort out on this wall. Like there's some. Hold on, if I move this up, you can. Yeah, these things. Awful, simply awful. Like their shelves, which number one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, their shelves, which number one look horrible. Number two, like they're just sort of so cheap and like flimsy. So anything sort of substantial you put on it, it just all goes. So you can see like that. So
yeah, like, that's not what you want.
I was planning to put my books and things like that on there, but as soon as I put them on there, it just sort of flops down. So I've got a so my dad for Christmas he bought me a bookcase even. So that's going to go. Not as big as yours, just like a little one, and it's going to sort of go, and it's going to come out to like here. It's going to be there.
Nice.
So then I can put all my books in there, and I can finally just get rid of these and then just fill in the holes with some poly filler.
Yeah.
Probably going to paint that wall at some point. I hate painting, so later.
Gives you something to do, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I've got a lot to do. Like, I'm doing like so at university, I've got a mini project going on, which is all right. I've got one essay set the other day, which is fine. I've got to do stuff for my placement still, which I'm still going to do even when the 80 hours are over, because it's a useful experience and I quite like it as well. And then I'm going to do, it's just all the little things, like lectures take a surprisingly long time when you do them properly. Like, from what it seems, people are like, oh, it's just an hour, blah blah blah. When you're constantly, like, when you have the opportunity to like pause it and like rewind and things like that, it ends up taking you like 2 hours or to do like one lecture. And you just feel so sort of well, I don't know about other people, but me, I feel really unfulfilled after doing something. Like, it's just one lecture and it's taking me this long. I sort of just feel a bit like, but they've just got to be done. They're the most mundane bit, I would say. I learn a lot more from writing an essay than I ever would from a lecture. Like, other people might be the other way around, though. They might enjoy lectures, might enjoy going there and taking notes, things like that. Not for me. That's not. I much prefer learning at my own pace, and like, it's a good, like, lectures are, don't get me wrong, like, lectures are obviously useful because it tells you what's in the course, what you're going to be assessed on in exams and like essays and things like that. So obviously, like, it's useful. I'm not saying it's not useful in the slightest, but I mainly just use it for that as like a base, and then I do my own research because I prefer doing that. It's just how I learn, I guess, in a way. Which is absolutely fine. Everyone, to each their own. That's part of the university process, is finding out how you do how you work as a human, I feel. Obviously you can do that in normal life, but it's sort of more apparent as a university student. Like, you sort of have to like learn how to adapt, have to like learn how you do things and how you work as a person to therefore get the good grades, things like that. Whereas, like, if you just go to, like, say, like the mundane office job I used to do, like, you just sort of turn up 8:55, sit at your desk, you're there at 9, you go home at 5, you sort of just turn off. Whereas this sort of, I feel the benefits to like studying for a degree sort of, I would say they outweigh the negatives, definitely.
Right.
And I think if you're passionate about a topic and you've got the opportunity, then I feel, there's nothing wrong with being quote unquote more educated, is there? Even if you don't necessarily go into, like, you don't have, I don't like people who sort of always say, like, oh, your degree's in like something creative, blah, blah, blah. Are you even going to get a job in that? It doesn't matter if you're going to get a job in it or not, as long as you're happy doing something and you've got those life experiences. You've sort of, like, you don't have to always do something with the idea of it being like a stepping stone to like it doesn't have to focus around a career, I should say. Like, you can, like, the fact that you can evolve so much as a person throughout university, I think that that in itself is good. Like, even if you just get like back to the mundane job after university, like, you've still sort of you've gone into that job as a different person as you would have done not doing it, if you know what I mean. That's my argument. It's not even an argument. That's just what I think.
You made some fucking awesome points. The idea being that you should only ever train for one thing at university, and therefore that's what you're going to be the whole of the rest of your life, to only do one thing. I think it sounds like a living death to me. That sounds horrible. No, yeah. You want to try to agree. You're awesome in the fact that you've done
thanks, man.
In general, and also the fact that your career choices have also completely been the other way, because you've been trying loads of stuff to then figure out what you want to do, and also
I know what I don't want to do.
Yeah, exactly, and that's probably more important, because you've done that. You've been like, well, this is shit, I'm not doing this again. And to people who say that,
I'll move that so he covers up my toilet. People probably want to see that.
Don't worry about it. The thing. To say that you're going to do a degree and then not do it as a career, that is absolutely fine. Because if you look at people, especially depends on certain degrees. Like, you look at people who are really good comedians, novelists, speakers. Unfortunately, politicians do come into this as well. But they all took, like, philosophy, for example.
Or English, or something along those lines.
Or English. But philosophy, let's use that as an example. That one is an excellent one, because first of all, a philosopher is not an actual fucking job, so you can't do that as a job anyway. But it's brilliant because it challenges your mind. It challenges you. It changes your perception, your interactions, how you speak to people, how you believe, how you come up with arguments, how you present yourself. It makes you look at things in certain. It broadens how you look at things. So that as a subject is a fantastic thing to do because it's applicable to anything. I mean, you do philosophy and then go being a fucking architect.
Could do if you want it. I mean, I don't. For architecture, I think you actually have to do proper training.
Shut up. Bad example, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Transferable.
But it's all about what the whole point is about what you like. So, for example, with you, it might be philosophy. For me, I personally would not want to do that. But that's that's the whole point of a degree, isn't it? It's something. It's about.
Mate, I do psychology as well. Either been brilliant.
So psychology I like because I like that sort of kind of. It's not. I would describe it as like a faux science, as in it is technically a science, but it's a lot more wordy and stuff than an actual. I don't know. That's really complicated.
It's because aspects of it you cannot quantify.
Yeah, but that's the same for science as well. Like the whole point of science is that the whole point of my brother told me, he was like, the whole point of like a science degree is it's not. You're not just learning facts. You're not just learning how to do things. It's like look at like your sister's maths degree, for example. You're not just learning how to do harder sums. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
go on.
Everything in like a science or sort of maths kind of based thing is sort of not everything actually. A lot of things in like maths is all based on like theories. It's just some theories are much more well evidenced than other theories.
Okay.
The only thing, so things like. Obviously, I don't know because I don't know the details of things. But like the whole point of like science things is like technically everything's a theory and you should be open to things being disproven. Like then you get idiots. Pardon my language. Absolute fools coming up to you and saying like I mean like, well, if everything's a theory, then why isn't there two moons? It's like whatever. But it's what it is, you know what I mean?
Because the planet would split apart from conflicting gravitational pulls, dickhead.
Well, actually, I don't think that would happen because other planets have more than one moon, don't they?
Yeah, but they have a giant, bigger mass than we do. And we rotate on an ellipses as well. It depends on the rotation as well.
Yeah, all planets rotate. All the actual planets rotate on the same sort of shape, and it's all in the same. It's all the same plane. Yeah. It's all the same plane, other than so the only one which was weird was like Pluto was like that, and it was more. So Pluto. Hold on, I'll draw a little.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
I like planets. Planets are interesting.
Yeah.
So like obviously, so if I draw like the sun in this, so that circle, that's the sun.
Okay.
I'll go to. I've got better paper. You can't really see it in the line.
I love how you draw the sun as an ellipses. That's brilliant.
So I'll do it in pen. So okay, so in the middle there you have your sun.
Okay.
And then obviously like all the planets are just like that,
different dots
going around it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Pluto, for example, was like this. I think it still is. So
interesting.
Obviously, Pluto still exists. It hasn't disappeared.
Well, it's not a planet though.
Yeah, but it's still there. Like they haven't just removed it. Then gone. It's a dwarf planet, I think, and it's not even the biggest dwarf planet.
No.
Oh, that's interesting. But I'm not. I tried physics at A level. I was not very good at it. It was difficult. But at the same time,
you're better than me. I tried it at GCSE. I wasn't good at it.
You could argue that it was more like I just didn't like A levels, and I stand by the fact that I think A levels are not very good. I mean, they're good at. I don't like A levels.
What do you mean? Why?
I think there are much better things you can do with your time than do A levels.
Why are you doing a degree?
The degree's different. As in
what should be there? Do you think a degree should be there instead of an A level, or
no? So I think the thing is A levels in my mind just sort of they're just pointlessly hard. because if you can get onto, like, say if you want to go to university, for example, if you can get onto university course by doing a BTEC, I would recommend doing the BTEC instead, because, or like the college course equivalent, for example, because it's, number one, it's going to be less strenuous on yourself. Just for your own mental health, that's better. And like A levels are really, like, unless you want to go to like one of the top universities and they only require, like, I get confused with grades these days. Like,
just go with whatever you know.
Okay, so unless they want A star, A, for example, then like, why not do, like, if they just want like ABB, why not just do a college course and get like distinction or distinction merit, for example? Because a college course, you do a lot more, like, number one, it's a different environment to a school, which I feel is much more important than, like, the whole. For example, with us, when we did I levels, we just went to the same school we did our GCSEs at, and I think that was a major problem. I think we're not a major problem. I think, like, in hindsight, we should have gone to
academically, it was a detriment to us.
I agree, but it could. But to other people, it might not. Like, to other people, they might be more comfortable in that. So it's in a situation which they know, and to them. But I feel that me and you are in a similar sort of boat with this. But like, if someone's
socially, it was fucking fantastic, but academically, you're like.
Like, I, in hindsight, would rather have gone to like Reading College or something like that, or even Henley College.
I agree.
Admittedly, Henley College is difficult. It's difficult to get to. Like, my brother went to Henley College, and like, if he missed the bus, like, it was like impossible for him to get there.
Amy was the
same. Other than sort of getting that weird, like the weird, like, High Wycombe. I forgot what they're called. Like one of those buses.
The mini bus thing. Yeah.
Takes like 45 minutes to even like get to like Play Hatch. One of those, and it's that just doesn't seem. I admit, it's difficult. I don't know. I'm just talking from my mind, talking out of my bum, whatever. But
go on.
I just feel that A level wise, it's just. They are just too difficult, and it does lower people's confidence, and that kind of, like, especially when you're in such like quote unquote malleable age at like 16, 17, it can really alter like your entire life and like what you pick and things like that. Because at the same time, if you did something like a BTEC, for example, and you were like thriving, you were in like a new environment, you were doing different activities, you were doing well and things like that compared to like just sort of walking into an AS level course and just AS level course. What did I say? Yeah, no, that's what AS level course, and just sort of failing everything that's very disheartening, and it could set you on a very different path to something else. I don't know. Now that I've said that, maybe that's the right path. Who knows?
The problem is you have well, first of all, bio-individualism, but then you've got individualism in how people learn and how they're incentivized. Some people learn better when it's harder, and some people learn better when it's easier. But then equally, that a singular person could learn academically when it's easier, but they could learn physically better when it's harder. I am that person. When it comes to physical things, the harder it is, the better I become. And
when you say physical things, what do you mean? As in like
so
exercise?
Let's take like weightlifting, for example. If I had an arsehole of a trainer who was like a drill sergeant, that for whatever reason, I respond really well to that kind of instruction. For someone being a dick to me, I'd do really well. But if someone was like really nice and laid back, I wouldn't perform very well, because I'm like, oh, there's not a lot of, there's no stakes, there's not a lot of anything against it. But academically, I'm the opposite. So if it's really hard, or the teacher's really hard, then I'm like, I can't do this. Where if the subject isn't that difficult and it's kind of like logical and laid out that way, I don't know, maybe it isn't about ease then. Maybe it's just how my brain works. I don't know.
Because I was going to say that I would argue it's because when it comes to things like physical exercise, for example, you're confident in your own abilities. You know you could do it. So if someone's like shouting at you, you know in your mind that you can sort of in a way impress them by keeping up with what they say.
Well, and also it's the shouting is a motivation. That is the shouting is the motivation. It's not, which I guess it then incites me to perform well. I think I'm trying to say how, I don't know. I can't think I've lost what I'm trying to say. In
long story short, we're all different.
Yeah, that's the boring summary of what we're trying to say here.
Essentially,
because my capabilities aren't any different. If I have someone who's yelling at me, but someone who isn't, it's just the person who's yelling at me brings out my ability more.
But then, so my mine was, it doesn't matter. Like, so say if you replace you in that situation with me, I have very low levels of physical fitness.
Right.
So if someone was to shout at me, I'd be like, oh, just stop, just let me go, let me go at my own pace. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Whereas because
so you're the opposite then, yeah.
Yeah, but then that's the whole thing. Everyone's different. So I guess my issues, I probably should reiterate, my issues with A levels are more sort of just I just don't like them myself personally.
Fair enough.
and from my experience, most of like what first year is tends to be a regurgitation of the information you learn in A level anyway.
Unless it's AS biology, in which case the first lesson is forget everything you've been taught because it's a lie, and you're like, oh.
Good old biology. I wish I did that.
See, I did that, and I got barely a U, but equally I went in with no expectations of doing well with it. I was like, I just want to see if I can do it, and I couldn't. I was like, okay, I don't care. I didn't. I failed. Whatever. Don't bother me.
Yeah, that's the whole point of life, isn't it? You know, not everything's going to be a success, and you shouldn't necessarily be so downhearted and think. Not saying that you are, just saying in general.
No,
but people shouldn't be so downhearted when things don't go their way. I guess. Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't know. I'm not confident in any human's abilities, let alone my own. So actually, who knows? To be honest, at this point, whoever's listening to this is going to be really confused about who I am as a person, because boy, I have contradicted everything I've said.
you are absolutely right. In fact, life is a game. You should invest enough into stuff that you care if it goes well, but not enough so that you're crestfallen if it doesn't go well.
Sort of, yeah. Why not? You just go with the flow, man. That's what I say.
Yeah.
just go with the, like, you know, if you want to do well, just try your best and do well. If you don't care, then things will show that.
So arguably you're not. So with that mental attitude, you're not going to become a Wall Street banker, but you're probably going to have a happier life than them.
I'll never want to be a Wall Street banker.
There you are. That's number one. That's the correct decision.
Yeah. Have you seen what's happening on have you seen what's happening on Reddit with all this stuff?
Dude, I was literally listening to something about an hour before I started speaking to you. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was like was it Robinhood?
Like Robinhood's like a trading app, yeah. But they've done like things which are like, because I'm on the side of like the little man in this. I think like I
am exactly the same as well. Yeah.
But because what Robinhood did, they stopped them buying shares, I think, or something like that, which you're legally not allowed to do because it's a free market, quote unquote.
What had happened was all the hedge fund guys and all the Wall Street people, all the stuff they'd been doing, someone figured out what they were doing, so told everyone, and now they're like, so I shouldn't be allowed to do this.
And I forgot what I saw, but I saw like an article, and it was like a billionaire cries on news because poor people are making money, and I was like,
that's exactly right. Yeah, that is exactly right. Yeah.
It's like in life, I think that being a millionaire is something realistic that people can strive for. You know what I mean? Like, if you're determined, you could be a millionaire, but a billionaire, you don't want to be. No one could ever justify someone being a billionaire to me. You can't, in my mind. But like someone's like, they worked hard. How hard do you have to work to earn it? Like,
and also hard. There is no, to a point, with making money, there is no direct path or correlation between hard work and success. You've got to be smart about it. You get just sheer hard work doesn't mean shit. Otherwise, every builder would be the richest person on the fucking planet.
Yeah. And it's like we need that.
Or a miner. Sorry, a miner would be like the richest person on the planet.
Yeah, it's. Then you get people who are like, oh, what if they start a successful business? I'm like, okay, fair enough. But like,
yes, fine, yeah.
But like, what business is making $1 billion? Like, look at the business which are making like $1 billion.
Amazon.
Yeah, but have you seen how Amazon treats their workers? Apple. Okay, I mean, I'm a sucker for Apple. We all are. Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here with my 7 has done me proud, to be honest. At this point,
is that a 7?
Yeah, do you want to show you the next? It's done me all right. I've still got my home button and all that.
I do miss the home button, to be fair. I think I've got my 8 somewhere actually right now. Yeah, I've still got my 8.
You could probably sell that for like loads of. But
I tried to. They said they would give me £100 for it, and they went, "Oh, there's a scratch and you get 20." I went, "Give me my fucking phone back." So they give it back.
just put it on eBay, mate. This is what I want to buy next.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fucking Razor, mate. Do it,
mate. Because the thing is, it's like what. Get rid of social media, man. Like I've deleted my Facebook account. I've still got Messenger, but I've deactivated like my Facebook account because Facebook.
I'm the exact same, mate. I haven't got it.
Facebook is a hive for like just idiots.
Mm-hmm.
I like Instagram for the simple reason. There's two reasons actually. 2 reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I like it's like the only place you can go to like look at tattoo artists and things like that. Like there's no other like sort of hub for like tattoo artists. So I'll use Instagram. For that.
Deviant art maybe.
No. Deviant art is where you go to look at furry porn, man. Prove me wrong.
I'm not going to prove you right. I'm just going to walk away.
And then it's quite good for like I follow like a lot of recipe pages, so that's quite good. Well, not as in like diet pages, as in just like ones which are like
how to make stuff.
Yeah, like I one of my favorite like cakes to make I found on Instagram, and it is like the best thing ever. It's like a chocolate courgette cake. Ooh, and like as like a vegan cake, it is amazing. Like the courgette makes it really fudgy, and like you can just like because it's all like vegan, that you just melt like pure dark chocolate into it, and it is mate, it is and like
dark chocolate and raspberry cake, mate.
That'll be good.
That's the shit.
So and trust me, like I don't know how much. I know your sister's into cooking. I don't know how much you are, but I say into cooking. She's a chef. She's a bit into cooking, I'd say.
And she likes it.
Yeah. But it's just like really, like people think, oh, vegan cakes must be so complicated. No, like half the time
it's just a cake.
Half the time you just take out the eggs and just add more baking powder, and you just end up with something slightly denser, but it still tastes the same.
Yep.
And it's all right. Oh, what was I going to find? I'm trying to find a picture of it. Oh, come on. Oh, it's just a video. I'm not gonna show you a video. I thought it would have a picture of it, but trust me, it looks like it is. I will hands down and say that it is like one of the best cakes I've ever had. 100%. And like I make it nice. I put hazelnuts in and things like that, 'cause I like hazelnuts.
Oh, what a choice! Good man.
And like I've bought today one of my shop. I bought this stuff because I've got some old bananas. I'm gonna make some banana bread this week, obviously, as you do. I bought some stuff to put in it, so I'm gonna put walnuts in it. I love walnuts, and blackberries and blueberries, and it's gonna be nice. I'm gonna smother peanut butter on it. Look at this way. I'm not a healthy person. Well, I just eat a lot because I like eating. That's not a problem. I don't care. So trust me, it is. You have not had like it is like the nicest banana bread in the world.
Oh, dude, I trust you. I trust you. I trust your baking, mate.
I love baking, man. I love baking.
Good, you should.
I'm gonna. What are you gonna have for dinner today, man? I'm assuming you've already eaten actually, because it's nearly 8 o'clock.
I have indeed. Yeah, I had. What do we have? We had like a tender stem broccoli, mushroom, carrots, celery, leeks, and like a beef stew kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
I'm gonna make some sort of fake lamb thing.
Lovely.
So what I've done is I bought like some like fake mince. And like I obviously like flatbread's just 2 ingredients. Like literally just use I use my yogurt, vegan yogurt, obviously, with flour. Just mix it up and you just fry it. That's nice. And obviously you roll it out and things like first. So I'm gonna have that with some cucumber. I'm gonna make some potato wedges to put in it as well. So it's like a proper, like, what's the term? Is it like a gyro? Is that the term? I'm googling.
What, to mix it up?
No, as in like a Greek sort of ish.
Oh right.
Inspired.
Well, couldn't tell you, mate. A gyro to me is a gyroscope, so it just goes. Woo.
So like they put the chips in it, and and I'm gonna have that. I'll have that with like some nice tomatoes and things like that. It'll be good. It'll be good.
That sounds divine, my friend. Well, hey, don't let me keep you from that, my man.
Oh, that's all right.
I got to bounce anyway. So that sounds delicious. So let me deprive you of food.
falafel as well. I love falafel.
I do like falafel. That's very good.
Oh, mate, like falafel is a gift from the gods. That's one of the things I go to Tesco for. It's like, I like the Aldi falafel, but the Tesco, you can buy like, I don't know what the brand is. It's like a frozen one. It's in like a yellow box. And it's like £1.50. You get like 20 little falafels in it. And they're amazing. They take like 10 minutes to cook, whack it in a pitta with some hummus. And like I like to cook chickpeas like in the week and things like that. And I dry them and sprinkle them on things. That's good. And like it just goes so well with like cucumber and things like that. And that is nice. You can have some peppers in there, but I always find the more you add, it sort of kind of overcomplicates it and things like that. So as much as it's good to try and add I try and just make like a soup and add all my stuff to that. So if I'm having like, if I want that, I'd have that with like a soup or something like that. So I get like my vegetables from there. Some people may be like, oh, you're eating so much. Yeah, I know I am. What? And what? But like, oh man, delicious. It's all about that serotonin, man. I just need it to be released from the food. Well, at least always, from my brain in response to the food.
Always, mate. Serotonin is what makes it work. Right, my man. This has been an absolute pleasure. This has been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you very much for joining me this evening.
That's fine. Whoever's listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm such a frustrating, contradicting person. Oh, we'll go back to the topic of labels quickly. I just want to say one thing. Anyone who calls himself a flexitarian, what even does that mean? Just give up.
Okay, that's a new one for me, but we'll talk about that next time, all right?
Wait, just message me. And other people say, oh, I'm a flexitarian. I'm like, what does that even mean? It's like I met someone who's like, oh, I'm a vegan, but I eat eggs and cake. I'm like, so you're not a vegan then? Like, if you're going to give yourself a label, at least make it accurate. Like, whoa.
It's all right. Like, I won't take.
It's like I don't like pescatarians because like the fish industry is the second worst one to beef for like environmental damage. I feel like I'm much better if you want to actually care. If you care about the environment, I mean, obviously I should be promoting this because I don't think you should eat any animal. But a chickenitarian, just have chicken. You know what I mean? Don't have beef and don't have fish because those Scottish salmon farms, they ain't good, man.
Any of them. On a closing note, if you want to see anything horrible, find out how they get prawns, because that's nasty. Right, I got a bounce, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. And we will save the flexitarian for next time, okay?
Yeah, good. Again, I apologise to your listeners or whatever.
Stop apologising. You're magnificent. That's who you are. All right.
I'm a very frustrating person to be around. They'll never meet me, so actually, never know him.
He's not. Ignore that. All right, buddy. I got to bounce.
Yeah, see you later, mate.
See you later, man.
Bon voyage.